Well, friends, we are in for a very rare treat. How about a flintlock hunt with our buddy, Mr. Abel's here.
Luke and I are set up in a blind. We got a feeder to our right, with a feeder in front.
We are going to take a fresh venison backstrap and we are going to stuff this backstrap. Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. We're so glad you tuned in to join us for another exciting real-world outdoor adventure right here on A Sportsman's Life.
Well, friends, we are in for a very rare treat. How about a flintlock hunt with our buddy, Mr. Abel's here. Gary Abels. Now, Gary, you've been hunting with these flintlocks since the 70s, haven't you,
That's
bud?
right, yeah, since the 70s when Jeremiah Johnson came out. That got me interested.
Got you hooked.
Yeah,
well, I dare say here on the Buck and Bass Ranch, Jeff's behind the camera with us, I dare say it's been maybe the 1800s since a buffalo was shot on this land with a flintlock. It's probably been a long time.
Probably has. Probably been a while since any flintlock's been fired on this property around here.
Yeah. Well, hold her up. Let's show the folks. Now, this is a replica of one.
Yeah, this is a flintlock that's a copy of a gun that was built in 1780 by Jacob Paree. He was a gun builder in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And this is a copy of that gun. Pretty much 100% copy, but you know, they're never exactly perfect, but it's there. And I had it built by a fella in West Virginia named Tim Williams. And he built me this rifle. I waited 2.5 years for it, you know, so it was a long wait, but it was worth it.
Popular gunsmith, I'm sure.
He's
especially probably not a lot of people that
well,
do quite this. You know?
No, and he's not even taking orders now. He's backed up 5 years now.
Right?
Yeah, so
it's patched round ball.
Yep.
Is what you got to shoot with the twist in these barrels, Gary, are not, you know, the modern muzzle loaders that I'm accustomed to, you know, like a 1 in 24-inch twist.
Right.
Now this is a much greater twist.
Yeah, it's 1 in 66. It's for a round ball, and you can't shoot a conical out of it or a maxi ball like they do with some of the guns that have got the quicker twist. It's a round ball twist made for a round ball and a patch.
Right.
You know, that's what you got to use in these.
Does the long barrel on these older flintlocks, does that give the powder more time? Do you think it give you more velocity?
It does. It gives it more time to burn. Gives it time to burn instead of blowing powder out the end of the barrel that isn't burnt. Also gives you a better sight radius, sight picture for older eyes like ours. It helps us, you know.
Yeah.
And that's mainly why they built them that way. They found, and they could also go to a smaller ball. The early rifles were big caliber. And when they went to these longer barrels and they finessed them, went down to smaller calibers, and that's how they ended up with it.
Well, instead of a percussion cap on the muzzle loaders that I've even shot the Hawkins, I've got one of those, and then the inlines, you know, instead of the percussion cap, there's a frizzen on this and a piece of, is that actually flint?
Yeah, it's flint. This comes out of England. It's an English flint by Tom Fuller out of England. And I get them through a company called Track of the Wolf.
Okay.
And then you use real black powder. Can't use a Pyrex in a flintlock.
It won't work.
It just doesn't do well. It just don't. And
you need that flash point.
That's right. That's right. And what this thing does, when you put a little powder in this pan here, you close this frizzen. When you pull the trigger, this flint will strike this frizzen, and a shower of sparks, which is really just molten metal shavings, will fall into that powder, ignite that powder charge there, and then that ignites the powder charge in your barrel through the touch hole.
There's a little bitty, well, you can, it'd be hard to see on the camera, but there's a little touch hole from that. That's amazing. And the old buffalo hunters, when they came out with a percussion cap, they remodeled a bunch of these. They said, wait a minute, we got a way to fire this other than the frizzen and the flint.
They converted a lot of the olds.
Yeah.
They converted them into percussion. But a lot of your old timers stuck with the flint because they could pick a piece of flint up off the ground.
Yeah.
And you know, if they drop their caps in the water in the creek, they may be ruined.
And it's over with.
They're 100 miles away from civilization. They pick up a piece of flint and nap one out, and they could fire their gun. So they hung on for a while.
Yes, sir. And also they made molten lead. A lot of them made their own molds.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mold my own balls.
Do you really?
Yeah. Now the balls I've got today aren't mine.
Mm-hmm.
But normally, well, every deer I've ever shot with this gun was a ball I mowed. And I just happened to have brought some swaged balls from Spear today.
Yes, sir.
But, but normally I mow my own. Lead's getting hard to get. So.
Well, years ago, before I actually started using an inline or the Hawking, a company sent me one, and I learned what little I know about a flintlock. I learned back then. I learned that you have to keep that dry.
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't I didn't do it long enough to learn much about it. But I remember I had some times when that flint hit that prison and it did not go bang, folks.
Well, the humidity we have today, a little bit of rain, it's hard on a flintlock.
I can tell you're kind of, you're kind of protecting that.
Oh yeah, I'll be protected.
Well, there's a lot of hogs here, and you've watched our show a good bit.
I have.
Here. So lots of hogs, but they're hogs. And we ought to be hunting a good corn feeder, and hopefully, one will come out and you'll get a good shot on it, but it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun no matter what we do. We're already having fun.
Yes.
So it's going to be a good time.
Well, let's say about another 30-40 minutes will be time to get out there in that stand. So what do you say you get it all dry and
I'm gonna dry
whatever you guys do with that.
Yeah. Got to go through my process.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Let's go get them.
All right. Sounds good.
Well, friends, we are all set. Gary Abels has joined us here with his flintlock, and we are looking for hogs. We actually had a few come into the feeder by camp. Larry tried to put the sneak on them, but I think they winded us or hurt us or something. They took off, but I think the hogs will be moving tonight. Let's hope so, and I'm excited to see Gary fire this flintlock and maybe put the hammer down on a nice big fat porker. So, Gary, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Just gotta have a hog come in. We'll be there.
That's right. All right, we got a little bit of drizzle, but an absolutely beautiful afternoon. We're in the blind about an hour before the feeder goes off, so plenty of time to sit here and relax and let things quiet down. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be back here. More action on a Sportsman's Life.
This is going to be our home for a little while this afternoon. Hopefully, one of the hogs will come in. If not, maybe a bunch of them. I've got it baited. This is an area that's been fed quite a bit in the past too. So Luke and I are set up in a blind. We got a feeder to our right, got a feeder in front. It's one of those afternoons where there's a little bit of rainfall. It is absolutely a fabulous afternoon to be hunting out in the woods. So as our camera slides to the top, hopefully here for too long we'll get the chance to see a hog or two. In the past when I've sat here, we've seen quite a few deer and squirrels as well too.
Yeah, this is the same blind that Jeff, our buddy, shot the muzzleloader doe in right over there a few weeks ago. So this damp conditions and cool, we could not pick a better day to be hunting hogs, you know.
Hunting anything as far as I'm sure I'm loving this already.
I say we'll lock in here and see what happens.
Let's just sit back and relax. The hogs we know, we're already at the feeder at the house.
Yeah.
Put a slight stalk on them, but the wind was blowing right directly to them. Yeah. No way not to make noise right there, so they left. Hopefully those will been chased down this way. Anyway, we'll swing around here and see what comes in a little bit.
Brought to you by Dallas Safari Club, Conservation, Education, and Hunter Advocacy. Hornaday, accurate, deadly, dependable. TAURUS Firearms, maker of the Raging Hunter.
hunting this afternoon with a TAURUS Raging Hunter 44 mag. Got a Trijicon SRO red dot sight on it, which ought to be ideal for these kind of conditions. Shooting at 240 grain, Hornady XTP, extremely accurate in any kind of 44 mag I've ever shot. I'll do my part. I know the TAURUS and Trijicon and Hornady will do theirs, but I got to do my part as well too when it comes in. So hopefully that will be what happens. Well, the hog came in. I'm not sure whether they hit it or not. The shot looked good. I'll have to get out and look. He ran off behind us, and I don't know. We'll just have to see what's anything's there or not. Go check for blood, and sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't, and this may be one of those times when you don't. But hopefully he was hit and he won't go far.
Okay.
There's a lot of blood right here.
Oh yeah.
Hitting this way.
Leading up through here.
Hey, look up here.
There he is.
There he is right there. There he is right there. Wow.
I tell you what, Larry, there was no ground shrinkage on that.
That's a big old boar.
You're
That
not
is a
kidding.
That's a big old boar. Let me turn him over here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he was shot. Shot right here.
Buddy, that's,
He kind of angled
you know,
toward.
you hit him, you actually on the other side, right
Yeah.
where you spot, and it angled out
Yeah.
right there. He was just little
Yeah,
bit.
it hit kind of angled this way.
Yes.
But my gracious. Gonna get out here. My knee is about to go out on me this way.
I hear you.
Oh my goodness.
Larry, that's the biggest hog I've seen in a while right there, I tell you.
He got nice little old teeth.
Yeah,
Got his old ears all tangled up.
that is what I'd call a tush hog.
You know what? This one, you can feel that dadgum shield right there. That shield runs all the way back to here.
Yep, that's an older boar, isn't he?
It is. Well, he was hit good. That
Buddy, I tell you what.
That 240 grain XTP, Hornady did a number on it.
It dang sure did.
Tell you what, that TAURUS Raging Hunter, and this is the one in the 44 mag, and one that I really like. Luke's been shooting the 357. I've got a 454 Casull that we'll bring out next time we come out that I really like as well too. But I'll have to tell you that was fun. I'm beginning to wonder.
My blood was pumping. Yeah, the hog. These
blood was
old
pumping
boys,
too.
you know, the 357 that you mentioned, that I shot one about a third that size with with that one right down here about a half a mile, Larry. Well, that's honestly no kidding.
That's a big old boar.
That's a big old boar in anybody's books.
This one has been long coming. I think
You've been looking for a big old hog down here.
You know what? I was about 3 or 4 years ago. I came here and I saw a bunch of big boards, way off in the thicket kind of thing, and just couldn't get a shot at them. And I'd been hunting a bunch. Every time I got a chance to come over here to trying to film or do anything, hunting for hogs, never saw one. And I was beginning to think that was going to be the case this evening. And then lo and behold, look, there he is. So absolutely fantastic.
Larry, there is something just to me about hog hunting when they first come out. And honestly, I had no idea this hog was this size.
He's bigger than I thought he was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's about. I thought, well, that's just another good eater. Well,
when I shot it, I was shooting for something that weighed about 80 pounds. And I think he's going to go more than that.
Oh boy, I'm the world's worst at guessing weight.
He has been rubbing. There's no hair left on him around his eyes.
No.
His old ears are tattered, but I mean, he's got that European look to him with that long snout.
He's like I say, he's what I consider a tush hog. Folks, Larry's a pretty good sized fella, but comparatively speaking, it's hard to look at a dead hog and tell you how big it is. But this one right here, I'm the world's worst.
He's not a 300-pound hog, but I tell you what, he's that 150, 160-pound hog without any problem at all.
And he is all wild.
Oh,
Larry.
yeah. Like I said, that thing's got a shield on it. They have got a cartilaginous
shield.
shield.
Show them the location of the shield.
That shield basically runs from the shoulder, from here, all the way around to the back. Oh, you can feel it right there. It's still there to the back of their rib cage, and kind of does just about like that.
And that bullet with that 44 mag did its job, buddy. Well, Larry, congratulations.
Well, thank you much.
We'll get back up to camp, and then we'll get the buggy, and we'll get this
Life is also brought to you by Air Force Air Guns, H3 Whitetail Solutions, Pyramid Air, Sightmark, Skin 'em Right, Snaplock Hunting Blinds, Smokin' Tex, Sportsman's Connection, Striper Express, TRHP Outdoors, and Ultramatic Feeders. Well, buddy, folks, welcome back to the show. Dear friend Gary Abel is out with the Flintlock this morning. We did a little spot and stalk, and was that exciting or what?
Well, it was exciting, Jeff. It really was. We got this close.
We really did. We were walking along, and I told Gary, I said, just be real, keep your eyes peeled and be ready when we get close to these feeders, because you just never know what might be in there. And sure enough, we were walking down toward the creek and came upon one of the feeders, and I slipped ahead and peeked in there, and sure enough, there that hog was. He was just in there feeding away. And we got all set up, and unfortunately the leg of the shooting stick just fell and hit the ground. That's all it took.
That's all it took, just that little tick of it hitting the ground, just a second, and he was gone.
Buddy,
hey,
that's hunting, isn't it?
That's hunting. That's what it's all about, and we'll get him next time.
Yeah, well, you'll come back. I think we're planning on doing another hunt here in the next few weeks. So you ready to come back?
Absolutely.
Yeah, bring this bad boy with you.
I'll bring
folks. This is a Flintlock, as we were talking about earlier, and of course Gary and I sat last night down at the blind, and man, they came in.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't come right into the feeder, but you know what? That's how it is sometimes. We sure had a good time. Had a good time having you here for sure.
Oh, thank you. I really enjoyed coming up. It was
a lot of fun, isn't it?
so much fun.
These are so neat. This is such a beautiful gun.
Yeah, I want you to get to see it fire.
Yeah, we are going to get one on film, friends, with Gary shooting one with this Flintlock. So stay tuned for an upcoming episode. We will make that happen. Well, Gary, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Jeff.
It was a great time, and we're wrapping her up here. Larry got his hog. We had a great time, and we're about to go cut that hog up. But you know, I'm gonna take the head back, and in an upcoming episode, you're gonna see me do a European mount. So stay tuned for that. That's gonna be some fun. I'll give you some tips on how to do it and how to make it look absolutely perfect. So.
Look, it took some doing. I can't remember how many times I've been out here at Jeff's hunting hogs. Finally, yesterday afternoon, you and I hunting together. And you know what? I think you were my lucky charm, because guess what we found?
He came out by himself.
He did, yeah.
I bet this old boar was dominating that feeder.
I think so too. I think so too.
Folks, we looked at his ears, and man, he's an old war horse, isn't he?
He is. He's been fighting. He's got a shield on him. We talked about it a little bit right before we got him down. That shield covers the shoulder, goes all the way across the chest area, and you can really feel it. You can grab underneath it, and it feels like it's probably about an inch or so thick.
Yeah.
And but that 240 grain XTP Hornady, I mean, it just went. It penetrated all the way.
It did a great job. Hit him right in here, and it was a slight quartering shot on him.
It was a little bit more quartering than I thought it was. I thought he was straight
because
on.
the trajectory actually was
pretty broadside.
Was something about like this.
Yeah, it did.
You know, well, here's the exit.
Yeah.
But you know, that's the thing about a big old hog. Gosh, they're tough, aren't they?
They are tough. They are tough.
Larry hit this hog lethally. I mean, a very good shot. He showed no indication of being hit whatsoever.
He took off at a dead run, literally a dead run.
Yeah.
And probably made, about 150 yards?
Yeah, about 150 yards.
There was a pretty good blood trail almost all the way there, but it was raining too, and so I was kind of finding blood. And Luke just kind of took off straight direction that hog went. I could hear Luke down there saying, he's here.
Got him
here, he's here, kind of.
Well, we needed this one. We needed him, yeah.
Oh, man,
well,
yeah.
Congratulations again, buddy.
Thank you, sir. What a pleasure.
Yeah.
What a pleasure.
Yeah, well, we got a chores cut out for us. He'll make some good back straps right there.
Back straps.
Maybe a little sausage from the ham meat, but this is not what I consider the prime eater hog. No.
Well, you know, really what I was hoping for was a prime eater.
I know.
I'll be honest with you about that. But at the same time, what I really needed, I needed a big bore to shoot with that.
You did.
And so,
well, I used your TAURUS in the 357 for a hog about a third that size, you know, and it did a good.
You know, a little bit smaller.
Not too far from here. You know that? Yeah.
Well, we'll get a few more photographs as far as still photography is concerned, and we'll get them taken care of.
All right, let's do it.
Well, hello friends, and welcome to our cooking segment here on A Sportsman's Life. Today we are going to take a fresh venison backstrap, and we are going to stuff this backstrap. We're going to stuff it with cream cheese. We'll have a little bit of onions, baby bell peppers in there, with a little bit of parsley. Wrap it in bacon, and then we'll tie some butcher string around it and be ready to cook this thing when we get out to camp. So just wanted to kind of show you how we put this all together. This is a heck of a great recipe, so stay tuned here. We're gonna show you how to butterfly the tenderloin first, and then we've got our meat mallet. We're gonna pound it out, flatten it all out. We'll use our little fillet knife here to cut off any little extra pieces of fat, whatnot. And then we'll cook up our mushrooms, our onions, with a little bit of parsley. We'll season this thing. We'll get it wrapped in the bacon. We'll put our string around it, and then it'll be ready to go. Stay tuned, we got a great show for you. What you want to do, folks, is you want to make sure you get all of the little fatty pieces off of this venison backstrap. There won't be a lot of fat on there, because usually this venison is a very lean meat to begin with. But if there's any fatty pieces or gristly pieces, just cut them off, and that'll just make for a much better cut. So we're just going to get this cut here. We're going to get these little fatty pieces cut off here, and then we're going to go ahead and slice this down the middle and we'll show you what we're doing here. Okay, for the most part, we've got pretty much all of the fat off that we could get off. And what we want to do is we want to split this thing. It's called butterflying it. You want to butterfly this little tenderloin, but you don't want it, so you're going to cut it this way and you're going to open it up. But what you don't want to do is cut it all the way through so it's two pieces. You want to keep it as one piece. Now, one end is a little bit thicker than the other end, so you got to be careful. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut into this thing evenly, flap it open, and then we'll take our mallet and we'll pound it down flat to kind of really tenderize the meat. So here we go. We're just going to take a slow, make an easy cut right along this thing so we can split this wide open. There we go. So we've got a cut, as you can see. Take a look at that. As you can see, it's not all the way through. I need to go through a little bit more so we can flap it open. Just be very careful as you cut, like so. Start to flap it. I still have a little bit of cutting I gotta do here yet, just to kind of get that. There we go. Perfect. That's what we want to see right there, where it opens right up. And again, it's still a single piece. Here we go. Now look at this. See how that's turned into one piece now? Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this mallet, and as you can see, there's large teeth on one side and small teeth on the other. We're going to use the small teeth at this point. The large teeth obviously will puncture some very, very large holes into the meat, but we don't want to make big holes. What we really want to do is just kind of flatten it out. So I'm going to go along here and I'm going to pound this out. All right, as you can see, folks, we have really pounded this out fairly flat. And again, one side's going to be a little thinner than the other, so this thicker side, you really want to flatten it out good. Try to make it the same thickness as this. Now, it'll probably go a little bit wider because you're really pounding it out. But when you roll this up, you want it all to be the same thickness, and then it'll cook evenly. So there we have it, a beautiful backstrap, hammered out. As you can see, all the little holes in it, but that's what tenderizes that meat. So, okay, here we go. We've got our saucepan ready to go. We've got mushrooms, onions. We threw in some shallots and garlic as well. A quarter stick of unsalted butter. We're gonna get that going in here, get this all cooked up to put into our stuffed backstrap. So let me get this cooked and I'll meet you right back here in a moment. We'll get this thing stuffed. All right, we have our mushrooms, onions, shallots on the stove. They're about cooked and they're cooling down. We've got our backstrap laying out here, venison backstrap, and we've got bacon obviously laying underneath it here. Our next step in the process is to get our Philadelphia cream cheese. In this particular case, it's the spicy jalapeno, and thought we'd spice it up a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this cream cheese and we're going to spread it right on the backstrap all the way across, making a nice, like you're making a peanut butter sandwich. There you go. Now what we're going to do, we'll take a little parsley, we'll put a little bit of that on there, sprinkle that on. And then let me get the stuff off the stove here and bring it over here, and we'll get that put on here as well. Alrighty, here we go. We've got our mushrooms and shallots, onions, garlic, etc. We're ready to go here. So we're just going to take this and we're going to lay it right across here as well. And we're going to be good to go here. All right. Let's get this laid out nice and evenly across here. And then we'll begin our rolling process. We've got our bacon ready to go here, so let's get some seasonings out. We'll put some seasonings on here, and then we'll roll this up and tie it all up and it'll be ready to go on the smoker. Alrighty, we've got some herb de Provence, and we're going to put that on. That's a really great spice to put on a smoked backstrap like this. So I'm going to put a little bit on our fingers here, about like so, and we're going to sprinkle that on inside of this this backstrap. Okay, and then simply salt and pepper. So salt and a little pepper, and there you have it, folks. That is what it looks like right there. That is a stuffed venison backstrap, butterflied, and of course we've got our bacon that will wrap around it. And of course that bacon, the fat in there will juicen this thing up a little bit. As you know, venison is a very lean meat, and with this bacon we'll add a little bit of juice to it. So I'm going to get this thing rolled up. We're going to get our butcher's string ready to go here, and we're going to wrap this up in some butcher's string and get it ready for the grill. So stick with me. Let's get this thing wrapped up and ready to go. All right, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to roll the entire backstrap over itself here, just very carefully, just like so. There we go. And we'll actually pull it this way and roll it the rest of the way. Now we'll get our butcher string out and we'll tie this up. We'll season the outside of it, and it's ready for grill. Okay friends, there you have it. This is our finished stuffed backstrap, venison backstrap. What I recommend is a burgundy au jus sauce. I put a little bit of horseradish in there, and kind of cover that when you're serving it. Cook this thing probably 10 minutes aside on a grill, or smoke it for about 25 minutes or so. And I tell you what, this is about as good as it gets.
Thank you everybody for joining us this week. We'll be right back here on A Sportsman's Life next week.